A very pleasant morning to all my dear students. Today, 27th of April 2021, again we are here with our English online class. In the previous class, we had discussed about the story of music, Evelyn Glanning, isn't it? Who listens sound without hearing it. So we can say that she was a deaf girl, but she achieved success at the top of the world. Same time, we can see that the next story, part 2 of our second chapter, The Sound of Music, it is related to the story of Bismillah Khan, the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan, right? You might have heard about Bismillah Khan. He was an Indian musician, right? He belongs to India. So this lesson is about Ustad Bismillah Khan. Okay, he is renowned as a Ustad, and he was renowned as a Shehnai player in India. Shehnai player, right? He is a legend because the reason behind it is that he did something which has a great historical value. That is why he is considered as a legend. He played the Shehnai. Students, listen carefully. He played the Shehnai on the day India got independence. That is 15th August 1947. Right? So he played Shehnai when India got independence, that is 15th August 1947. Before that, Bismillah played the Shehnai in order to signify something auspicious. Before that, he is playing Shehnai in order to signify something which is very auspicious or very valuable one. Something auspicious which is for the whole world, country, was about to happen. India was about to get freedom. That was a very auspicious, important, valuable thing. And so on that occasion, that is 1947, 15th August, Bismillah Khan played the Shehnai, so he is a legend. So this part, that is part 2 of The Sound of Music, is related to our famous Ustad Bismillah Khan, the Shehnai Wade player, right? So now we will see the detailed explanation related to the story of Bismillah Khan. Okay? So, be with your book. Whatever we will explain, just listen it carefully. Okay. Let us start the explanation of part 2. That is, we can say, that is the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Do you know these peoples? What instruments do they play? Here are some famous musical players who plays different instruments like bansuri, guitar, violin, tabla, and many more. Okay, so here is Ustad Bismillah Khan. So now we will start our explanation. Point number 1. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. So, here we can say that pungi was a musical instrument, right? What is a pungi? It was a musical instrument, the predecessor of the Shehnai, right? Before Shehnai, people used to play pungi. So when the Mughal ruled India, before the Britishers came, there was a very famous Mughal ruler named Aurangzeb, the famous Mughal ruler named Aurangzeb. He did not allow the pungi be played in his royal residence because he felt that it had a very shrill or unpleasant sound. Ban means prohibited, right? Then pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemakers. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. Okay, student. So pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemaker. So here the author says that as Aurangzeb has banned all these reeded noisemakers, he had banned pungi in his royal residence. No one thought that one day such instruments which made unpleasant sound would be played and their sound would be liked by all the audience. Right? A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were. So we see that as the pungi had an unpleasant sound, there was a barber who belonged to a family of a professional musician and he wanted to play the pungi, but he knew that the sound produced by pungi was unpleasant and so he decided to improve the sound. Right? So what did he do? This barber took a pipe which was a hollow stem, right? And it was longer and broader than the pungi. It made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. If you have seen a flute, it is something like this. It is a pipe which is hollow from inside and holes on it. Right? He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chambers and was played by Nai Barber, the instrument was named the Shehnai. So here we can say that when the barber blew air into pipe and closed open different holes, he found that the soft and melodious sounds were produced. Right? When he did like this. When the barber played this instrument in the royal court, everyone liked the sound produced by it. The royal court thought that this instrument was different from the pungi and so it should have a different name also. Now there is a story behind the name given to this instrument. This instrument was played for the first time in the royal residence of the Shah. Shah was a name given to the king. Mughals called the kings as Shah. As the Nai, that is the Indian term used for a barber, had played it for the first time, so they called it Shehnai. So the first part is Shah, which stands for Shah, and the second part nai, that is a barber. So this instrument was named as Shehnai. Right, student? Now we proceed to point number 2. The sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. The sound of the which was produced by Shehnai was considered to be a good omen, and so it was played on good occasion. And for this reason it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. And for this reason you can hear Shehnai being played at many temples as well as wedding also, and is dispensable component of any North India wedding. In the past, the Shehnai was part of the Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. So the Shehnai was a part of Naubat, means Naubat is an Urdu word and it means traditional. Assemble, that means a traditional group of 9 musical instruments. These 9 musical instruments were played at the royal court, and Shehnai was also a part of Naubat. Right? From that, the Shehnai was played at the king's court, in temples, at weddings. It was used on stage at. So Shehnai was played at the king's court, right? On temples and at weddings. It was used on stage in performance, and the credit for that goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan, who was a legendary Shehnai player, and the people wanted to hear him to play the Shehnai. So this is all about the explanation of point number 1 and 2. Okay. So students, right now we have discussed 2 points, point number 1 and 2, in which we have seen that how the Shehnai got its name, how Emperor Aurangzeb was very much impressed to like the sound of Shehnai, how the Pungi is different from Shehnai we have read. So in these 2 points, whatever we have discussed, it must be clear to you. Thank you so much.